What up? Poppin', man. What's this lady's name? Holla at me. Holla at me. Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Yeah. What up? What up? What's going on? Let me see what's popping here, dog. It's even worse. There we go. There we go. Yay. You know what I'm saying? That look a whole lot better. Yeah, what's up? Holla at me. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going. Let's get the games going. Had all crooked. Let's get the games going. All right. Your fingers smell like P. Diddy lemon? Linen? Yeah. Let's get these roasts popping, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a really good show lined up. Good to see you, Sauce Ma. Man, I got a great show lined up, man. How's it sound, man? Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Oh man, I got an excellent show lined up, man. I'm ready. All good. There's nothing better than Charlie go. Man, what's up? I appreciate y'all, man. I'm just trying to settle into the new spot. You know, try to get some consistency popping. You know what I'm saying? Want to roast y'all a little bit. Blaze right hand. Blaze right hand. After you did 6 months in jail, man, your fart stopped making noise, man. You got loose shanks. Evan, what's popping, man? Just telling somebody about your journey the other day, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Keep it going. You know, even though you still got 11 months of payments left on your furniture from Rent-A-Center, you're still my homie. You know what I'm saying? You paying that old high interest rate over at Rent-A-Center, you fooling. You in class tonight? Okay. 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 Proud of you, bro. Keep it going, man. I want to know what y'all been up to, man. You know what I'm saying? Proud of you. Good work. Saucema, you saw You be bragging to everybody about how you saw Gerald Levert naked at the gym. You in radical behaviorism class? Hey, refresh my memory. Are me and you on the same page? We both in school for psychology. Charlie got dog walked by a Romulus kung fu instructor. I'm crying. Blaze right hand, you sold all your appliances and bought paper plates and heroin with the money. Yo, pop. Yeah, that was hard. Psychology and special education. I'm right with you on the psychology class. I just took philosophy. Just finished it. Got a B. The way my classes is set up is I'm taking like one class every 6 weeks. That's psychology. That philosophy class, bro. Cognitive distortions, um, logical fallacies. Logical fallacies was pretty dope. Appeal to tradition, appeal to authority, appeal to tradition. I realized that I kind of had that logical fallacy for a little while, like just doing stuff just because your family do it, or just because you've been there for years, you just allow certain things to happen because you're appealing to tradition. So that philosophy class and some of those logical fallacies was pretty deep. What up, though? You look like Golem from the Lord of the Rings. I'm crying. Charlie out here cripping on the boulevard. Charlie took my girl. Oh man. Um, what's going on with Evan? How about Divine Bebop? Divine Bebop, you look like the type of dude that tell everybody about how you almost signed to death row. Like that's been your story for the last 12 years. Man, you know, I knew Corrupt and Daz almost signed to death row, man. You had a demo tape in the club and they beat you up in VIP and drug you outside. That's the real story. Some of my classes were semesters worth of work. It's 6 to 8 weeks. Tripping. I'm proud of you, bro. Them classes ain't no joke, man. What y'all been up to though, man? Who y'all got? I'm gonna jump into it. I got some really dope topics I want to talk about, but what y'all been on? Who y'all got winning the NBA finals? What y'all think about March Madness? Where y'all at? Charlie lift dumbbells with his butt cheeks. Charlie know how to box braid with his feet. Big Sky Comedy, what up, man? Big Sky Comedy, you let Bow Wow slap you in the club over a VIP booth. You ain't do nothing. You just let him just crack you. Who else talking? D Ziggin. Charlie lift dumbbells with his butt cheeks. I'm crying. D Ziggin, you probably the type of dude that cried at your last Alicia Keys concert, man. How you feel about Alicia Keys getting rubbed on by Usher? I don't think that was in the rehearsal process. I think he did that on his own. Which if I was Swiss Beats, I would have sued Usher. Like, hey man, some herpes jumped out of his pants onto my wife that wasn't in the rehearsal. I would have sued him. There's no way I would. Let me ask y'all this question for real. You go to an Usher concert with your girl, and Usher asks to bring your girl on stage. What would you do? What would you do? I'm gonna tell you right off top. As soon as Usher comes over to my girl, even if, first of all, she shouldn't even have to ask me. She should be able to look him in the eye and say, I'm all set, man. You know, I don't want them herpes jumping out of your pants over here. Go back on stage. You know what I'm saying? But if she has to question, hey, can I go? I'm gonna just be complete like, yeah, my girl, yeah, she can go on stage, but I need to be able to join you. I'm coming on stage too. And I want to violate all the female dancers that's on stage. Yeah, I'm a drop kick one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put another one in the headlock. I'm gonna completely steal the show. Yeah, she can go, but I want to go up. I'm going to body slam your background dancers. I'm going to fire on the drummer. I'm going to be a complete fool. I'm going to overshadow anything you could possibly do to my girl. Yeah, she can go. Coldest two-piece I would ever throw if Usher tried to pull it. Facts, Archie Lee. You try to pull my girl on stage, I'm going wild. Yep, she can go. I'd like to join as well. Can you direct me to the female background dancers so that I can turn up? Where are they located? I'm a body slam the first one. I'm gonna take my pants off. I'm a power hump one of them. I'm complete. I don't even care if the boys come arrest me, because what I do is going to overshadow anything that you do. Charlie got tying the shoestrings on Jermaine Dupri hard bottoms at the top of his butt. Big Sky Comedy on the jokes. Big Sky Comedy is the type of dude that don't believe Usher is out here giving herpes to men. No, he ain't, man. He be defending him. No, he ain't doing that, man. You went to a Boys to Men concert in Boston the other week. How was that? That's real tender, man, that you admitted that. You was at a Boys to Men concert solo by yourself with a see-through shirt on. I'm at the end of the road too, guys. It would be doomsday if that way. Man, listen. Hey, Commie Kill Patterson, I feel you. 100%, man. I'm telling you, like, you're going up there if you want to, but you might catch something if you jump on stage with Dog. Tripping. You sound like Diddy would do. Charlie rent rooms until people compliment his eyes. You wild. You wild. That's funny. Evan's paying $600 a month right now for a 95 Sebring. You got 12 more payments left, Evan. If you just keep it up, it's got 600,000 miles on it. He got a 28% interest rate, and all he had to do was put $300 down. He got the worst deal ever. Charlie be at Chipotle jumping his pecs for extra sour cream. Oh, man. Listen. This is how I want to know what y'all feel about this. This is my personal opinion. I feel like when a man gets into a relationship with a woman, I feel like he wants to be a gateway to the world, to his woman. You know what I'm saying? But when you get with a woman who has seen it all, done it all, and she reminds you and tells you about it all the time, I feel like it kind of takes away your thunder. Like, dang, man, you done been all these different places, man. You've been, and it ain't nothing wrong with a woman who's traveled and seen the world, you know what I'm saying, to a certain degree, but it's like, I can't tell you nothing. You've been everywhere. You know everybody. What man want to be with a woman that he can't just like give her a little game every now and then, tell her, put her up on game, take her places she ain't never been. But it's like she been everywhere. She know everybody. I don't know. Just me personally, I feel like a man wants to be a gateway to the world through his woman. Maybe not on everything, but it's like, you know, you said Charlie transforms into a loon on full moon. Are you be picking corn out of your girl's braids at night? Who said that? Archie Lee. Archie Lee, all your white coworkers asked you to write a poem for Juneteenth. Archie, we don't know what to do for Juneteenth. We were thinking, like, you are the go-to guy at your job for all things Black. Archie, we're thinking for Juneteenth we'll have an African tribal dance. Can you help us out with that? What did your ancestors do? Archie, can you write a Juneteenth poem for us? Make it short and sweet. And speaking of sweet, can you bring some sweet potatoes that your mammy can cook for us, if you don't mind? Reno Molina, what's popping? Appreciate you popping in, man. We getting on Archie Lee right now because Archie Lee is the Black representative at his all-white job. As a matter of fact, Archie lets his white coworkers call him the N-word when no one's around. Can we get Archie? There's no one around. Can we hit you with some racial slurs? I've been dying to call you the N-word, Archie. Trey Tucker, what's the deal? Thanks for popping in, family. Charlie sings Whole New World at the gym very loudly. I'm crying. Oh my God. Yeah, man. People who be just cooning at work. It'd be so unreal. Like a laugh that they have that ain't even real. That's so funny, James. Man. How's the family doing? Everybody okay? Will you just tap dance for us, Leroy? Can you do a little number? If we put some steel on the bottom of your shoes and put some wood out, Leroy, will you do a tap number for us if you don't mind? 78 Winnebago. I do got a 77 Cutlass, though. Whew. I'm excited about it, man. Got me a car the same year I was born, man. You know what I've been into lately? I've been into surrounding myself with things that remind me of my childhood. Like when I was little, my auntie had a 77 Cutlass. I got movie posters around my house that remind me of my childhood. Coming to America, Goodfellas, Stand By Me. What's another one? E.T., Superman 3, Rocky. It's just something about like these time periods remind me of what it was like before all these traumas that I've experienced in my life. You know what I'm saying? You got a 79 Cuddy? Ooh, Mike McDaniel. I had so many 79 Cuddies, 77, 78, 79, 80, 84. I had an 84 Cutlass that I put a 350 in. I had an 85 Cutlass that I put a big black Chevy 454 in. Well, if we talking about motor, rear end, ooh, I get emotional when I get to talking about these old schools, man. I'd have been out the game for a little while, so I waited a year, found me a 77 Cutlass, had to drive to Ohio to get it. Got it for such a steal. 350 Rocket, clean interior, you know what I'm saying? I picked up some Flowmasters the other day. I got two chamber Flowmasters for like $50. You got a 400 small block in him? Ooh! Hey, man. I want to see pictures of that. I want to hear that boy running. Send it to my email, askcharlienewhart@gmail. I put it in the chat. Don't be sending no weird pics of you with your shirt off next to the car, man. I'm going to blaze you on here. Just the car, dog, not you. That's all I'm interested in. I don't want to hear no video of you talking either, man. Just the car. Don't be weird. Caught the show a good time. Rusty Fingers, what's popping with you, man? Evan put in the chat that he paid $600 a month for a 95 Sebring. I don't know why he shared that info with us or why he got a note on his Sebring. We praying for him, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to give him some financial advice about how he shouldn't have Rent-A-Center furniture in his house. He got 11 payments left on his furniture, man. Somebody holler at Evan and let him know that ain't cool. Charlie parked his car with RuPaul. Hey, 86 photo Cutlass. The 85 that I had was a photo. It's on my YouTube channel right now. That's the car I wish I never would have sold. I sold it right before I moved to Cali. 85 Cutlass, 454, board 70 over, 3-inch exhaust. You know what I'm saying? Posi rear end, 14 gear, MSD. Whew. Why did I sell that car, man? Now, I think I sold it in 2017 before I moved to Cali. If I would have kept that car right now, 25 bands. Easy. Easy. Ben Frank, what up, bro? 400 small block. You got naked pictures of John Madden? Oh, you tripping. Yeah, 79 Cuddy, man. Them old school cars. Like I said, I just got things. I'm buying things that remind me of my childhood. The 77 Cutlass. My Aunt Bonnie had one when I was little. My boy Tone had one when we was in our early 20s. He had a Cuddy on some Dayton's. these posters I got, the music I've been listening to. Part of my therapy to get over these traumas has been listening to music and getting things around me that remind me of my childhood. Oh man, I'm crying. Charlie got a history of puckering his lips before watching Blade. Oh my God. Evan is the person in his entire crew that everybody asks for advice. You know what I'm saying? They ask him for advice about what to do about herpes outbreaks. Evan, what should we do, man? Can I show you? What does this look like? I know you're an expert on herpes, man. You've been dealing with it for 20 years, man. How do you store all these cars? You have to rent car storage space. No, man, I got 2 cars, man. That's all I have. I don't have a whole bunch of cars. Evan fooling. Evan is straight fooling. Evan is the kind of dude that gets an erection every time he hears the word penetrate. Who said penetrate? I'm sorry, my mouth is watering a little bit. So I want to piggyback. You still remember that football hit you took? Charlie, last Google search was wig stores near me. I'm crying. Man, I got a really dope show, man. I got a really dope show lined up. I got a couple things that I want to talk about. I already asked this question, and nobody really give me an answer on it. I'm gonna ask it again. It's more of a statement / question. I feel like a man wants to be a gateway to the world for the woman that he's with. You know what I'm saying? But if you would with a woman who now there's a thing of humility. Like I don't tell everybody every single thing that I know. And I hate when I get around somebody and they feel like they got to run their whole resume down the first 5 minutes of meeting me. Like, come on, man. And that's the difficult part, especially when you're talking to actors or comedians. Like, man, you can't even have a regular conversation. Yeah, man, I'm on tour. Man, I got this going on. Man, how's the family doing, dog? You telling me about all these things, like all of that. Listen, I'm grateful for these accomplishments. I've had TV roles, I've been in commercials, all of that, yes, whatever. But when I'm asking you how you doing, I'm asking you how you doing, not what you doing. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, man? How's the family? How everything, man? I've been on tour. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to do this. I had 12 auditions last week. You know what I'm saying? And dog, how are you? How's the family? You know what I'm saying? Anything you want me to pray for? What you been up to? You been getting in the gym, drinking water? How are you? You know what I'm saying? You do got to play naive with some people. 100%. 100%. It's okay to just be real, but this is how I feel personally. A man wants to be with a woman who he feels like he's the gateway to the world with her. But if she knows it all, she tell him, I've been there. Yep. Oh, Italy, yeah. Oh, I've been, yep. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. It's like some places is cool, but it's like, dang, man, you've been everywhere. You know everybody. I can't show you nothing. I can't teach you nothing. Know that already. Yep, did that already. It's like, come on, bro. Wild. Charlie got off to the mannequin at the wig store. Yeah, I'm crying. Crying. This is another thing that I've been able to kind of determine. I attract, and I always have. I attract difficult people because I understand them. I understand difficult people. It's just that I've ran out of patience with difficult people. And I think since, like, I had cancer when I was 15, 2 surgeries, 8 months of chemo, God healed me. But something happened, like, out of that trauma with that healing anointing. When you got a healing gift and healing anointing on your life, you attract broken people. And some broken people are difficult people. And I've attracted them since I was young, really since that cancer diagnosis. But then what I noticed is that I had a whole lot of patience and grace for difficult people. You know what I'm saying? But now I've ran out of patience. I've ran out of patience. I don't have grace. I still attract difficult people. I just don't want them very, very close to me no more. Like I'm fried. And it's just certain characteristics I've noticed that most difficult people have in common. Number one is they worship their opinions and their thoughts over everything else. Like, just because you think something is in your head, I mean, you're very subjective. Just because you think something's in your head, that don't mean it is true. You know, Proverbs says, in a multitude of counselors, there's safety. So sometimes when something's in my head, I'll still run it by three trusted sources. You know what I'm saying? I pray about it. Like, okay, I got this thought. Is this real? I pray about it. I run it by trusted sources. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait a little while. I don't worship my thoughts as just the gospel and just, you know what I'm saying? A difficult person, their thoughts, they worship their thoughts above everything else, or their opinions, and you can't sway them otherwise. And it's all right to have a strong personality, but when you worship your thoughts and your opinions over everything, it's like, come on, man, that's wrong. What amount of money would you consider decent living in the entertainment industry? What do you mean, like earning? Um, what amount of money would you consider decent living in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles? So I don't know if you. This is how I feel. If you living in LA in the entertainment industry and you don't want to have roommates, because almost everybody in California got roommates. And to me, I don't want no more roommate situations. I'm done. I got so many horror stories about roommate situations in California. You know what I'm saying? Even with references, a job. I had one roommate who turned out to be a meth head. She was on meth in her room. I had to kick her out. Had another one who was just legitimately crazy. She lived in my house for a month and then was like, you know what? God said that you're supposed to give me all my deposit back and I got to live here for free for a whole year. What? God ain't told me that. So if you're in the entertainment industry, you need your peace, your quiet. So I would suggest getting a place where you don't have to have roommates, and it don't even have to necessarily be Los Angeles. I don't like to be in Los Angeles after midnight. So I would suggest like living on the outskirts. You know what I'm saying? Monrovia, Pasadena, Altadena, you know what I'm saying? Even Riverside, it's about an hour and a half drive, but it's more affordable. And you could literally, if you making like $4,000, $4,000 to $5,000 a month, you could probably survive in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles. Yearly earnings. If you bringing home a band a week, living in the outskirts, but if you want to live in LA, you just got to be in LA. Oh, I give you two options. If you want to live in LA and you don't mind having roommates, you could probably still survive with $1,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, probably like a thousand a week in LA. But if I was you, I would live on the outskirts. I would definitely live on the outskirts. I wouldn't live directly in LA at all. I would visit. Like you treat LA like when they call you, you go. Other than that, most of the things that you do entertainment wise, like all my auditions now have been virtual. Like casting agencies, people still weird in the industry because they still think you like they still act like it's the pandemic. So most of your stuff is virtual. Why you don't even need to be in LA. You can be close, but you don't need to be directly there. Charlie shooting this video from a Golden Corral bathroom. Big Sky Comedy is the Woods man of his crew. Hey man, shoot to the store and get me some Hennessy and Woods, man. Right now. Charlie looked like a sassy bodyguard. I'm crying. Oh no. Oh man. Charlie looked like a sassy bodyguard. Who is that? Pull up from the 30. Pull up from the 30. Still been trying to convince everybody since high school that he ain't gay. No, man, I'm straight, man. Like, why you eating all them Impossible burgers? He been eating Impossible burgers for so long. He still don't understand why he growing titties. Charlie lost his keys listening to Coco. I'm crying. I'm crying. I love it. I love the roast. To get it off. That's all we do. That's all me and my cousins do in the chat all day. Is just we just roast each other all day in the group chat. Charlie look like the fragrance guy at Macy's. So have y'all heard about this lady? Her name is Susan Wright. Susan Wright stabbed her husband 193 times. Yeah, 193 times. So she, at the age of 17, she was a topless dancer. She stabbed this dude 193 times in 2003. So at age 17, she was a topless dancer. Met her future husband in the gentleman's club. He married her. She stabbed him 2 different times with 2 different knives and then tried to bury his body in the backyard, right? Years after they got married. She covered up the crime scene with paint. And then the next day, after she buried him in the backyard, painted the room, then she filed a domestic abuse report on him. And I guess she got so overwhelmed with guilt, she finally called an attorney days later, confessed to the murder. She claimed she was being physically and emotionally abused. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but do y'all think physical or emotional abuse, even if it's true, it's sad that if it was true, but physical or emotional abuse warrants stabbing someone 193 times? Or could she have just left? Yeah, she's white. Dr. Sinister, what up? 193 times, bro. Her name is Susan Wright. Let me look her whole story up for real. She made headlines. She was convicted of murder in 2004. Was given a 20-year sentence at the Crane. She was given 20 years. She wasn't even given life. She stabbed somebody 193 times with 2 knives and was given 20 years. That kind of sounds like my ex shot me in the arm and then pointed the gun at me and squeezed the trigger and got 3 years. She got out, got with somebody else and murdered him. That situation was wild. Like, I still remember to this day. I remember after she shot me, like, if you don't know my story, in 2003, my ex-wife, she's not my ex-wife, she tried to kill me. She shot me in the arm while I was holding our son, pointed the gun at me again, squeezed the trigger, the gun jammed. God protected me, right? Told the story and went viral, but I waited till my son was 21 before I told the story, just respectfully. I didn't want to, I wanted him to be old enough to kind of understand both sides of the story, and I didn't want him to seem like I was bashing his mama. Waited till he was 21. I told the story, went viral. And so now a lot of people have been reaching out to me and sharing stories with me about other, men who didn't make it. Like, gratefully, God protected me, but like, she got out, got into another situation, and I met the dude because while we was married, I ain't gonna lie, we was both cheating on each other in the beginning. So everybody was like, the reason she shot Charlie is because he was cheating. No, actually, at the time, she was cheating. When we first got married, we was both cheating on each other like some monsters. We was just 2 broken people trying to be whole, cheating on each other, right? I got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of it. I was like, I'm done with this life. Because actually, once our son was born, I cut it out. But she kept going. And I knew she was, you know what I'm saying? I knew what she had going on. And make a long story short, she just was consumed with guilt, whatever. We got into an argument one day. I wasn't cheating at all at this time. And the argument just escalated. She pulled the gun, blah, blah, blah. So she had a little boy by somebody else while we was married. And when he came out the box, I knew he wasn't mine. I was like, dog, he looks Chinese. My man's is not mine. I knew he wasn't mine. I waited about a month or so, asked her. She didn't say nothing. I'm like, cool. So I ordered a swab kit, a DNA swab kit. Well, actually, no. I asked her first. She said no. I asked her again. She broke down crying and said, yeah, I don't think he's yours. She told me I've been messing with somebody. I've been messing with my ex, blah, blah, blah. And, so I was like, well, let me order a swab test. So I ordered a swab test, swabbed his mouth. He's like 3-4 months old. Swabbed his mouth, sent it out. So when I was waiting on it to come back, all of a sudden for the whole week, I don't got no mail. Zero mail for the whole week. And I'm like, what's going on? So I go down to the post office and they say, yeah, somebody came down here and put a vacation hold on your mail. Like straight up, it had to be her. So he was like, I got all your mail right here. So when he handed me the stack of mail, inside was the DNA test. I opened it up and said he wasn't mine. So I go to the house and I'm like, hey, they said that somebody put a vacation hold on the mail. I don't know nothing about that. Okay. For real. And that's why one of the most sexiest things a woman can have for me is accountability. You caught. Just be honest. You know what I'm saying? You put a vacation hold because you was trying to finesse. Just be honest. And then you forgot. Or anyway, accountability is one of the most attractive things a woman can have. So I got the DNA test. I look at it. It say he ain't mine. And I'm like, what's up? And she cried, yeah, he ain't yours. Let's try to work it out. But it was just turmoil. She shot me, blah, 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 blah. And while she was locked up, I got in contact with the little boy's father because he was maybe like 8-9 months at the time. Where was he, about 1? He was about 1. Got in contact with his father, met up with him, you know what I'm saying? And we had a conversation. He was just 100, like, yeah, I knew her before you. He said, man, she told me that because he was writing her letters. He was writing her letters while he was locked up. So I met her while he was locked up. And I saw his letters. And I ain't gonna lie, I pulled out all the letters out of the closet and I peed on all of them. Told her, like, yeah, I found them letters from dog. I peed on them. This is like 99, 2000. So I guess she told him. He was like, man, an old girl told me that you found my letters that I used to write her from jail, that you peed on them. I was like, man, I don't know nothing about that. But I guess anyway, in his mind, he was like, yeah, you peed on my letters, but I've been smacking your wife and I sprayed in her. So give me my son. You know what I'm saying? So I'm handing little boy over to his father and he's crying because he wants me. He like, I don't know, dog. Didn't want to go to him. And I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of emotional at the time because I was raised, even though he wasn't mine, I was still raising him. But I passed little dog over to his pops. And it's so crazy that was the last time I saw dude. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the dude that when she got out of prison, she moved in with him. They got a house in Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. And that's the dude that she murdered 20 years later and tried to bury him in a shallow grave. My mama called me like, you see the news? You see your ex-wife is on the news. She killed her, I say husband. I don't know if they was married or not. She killed her new husband. And, and people were saying they found out he was cheating, but apparently he had broke up with her. You know what I'm saying? He broke up with her because it just wasn't working, but he let her come stay at the house. And I guess it was kind of same situation. They were cheating on each other, whatever the case may be, but he was trying to move on. Once she found out he was trying to move on while she was in the house, he fell asleep. She shot him in the head 3 times. It's the same woman who shot me 20 years prior and got 3 years, got out and shot dog. Now, that's really important here because this lady we talking about, this Susan Wright, she got released from prison in 2020. She walking around. I'm filming. Who is that? You ain't got no key? I knew this was gonna happen, man. This what it is when you like filming at the crib. Hold on, dog. Told your mama I was gonna be filming from 7 to 9. You just got your hair retwisted? Yeah, we doing it the hood way. You know what I'm saying? And so my ex who popped me, she I don't know if she got life or not. She's still on parole. She's still on parole, dog. It's crazy. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what she's still on trial. I don't know if she got life or not. What's up, Christian Smith? So, all right. So here's the whole story, because everybody keeps saying the people who pick apart the story. I don't know who this Sam Mish is. Sam Mish be leaving some really weird comments, but I don't know. I appreciate the interaction, but so 3 or 4 days before I got shot, there was a raccoon in my backyard, right? And I had a 5-shot revolver, a 32. So I went back there. The raccoon was messing with my trash, blah, blah, blah. I shot him twice. You know what I'm saying? Scooped him up, threw him out in the street. I did not replace the bullets in the revolver, right? So I put the revolver in the kitchen cabinet. That same gun I used to shoot the raccoon is the same gun that I got shot with. So somewhere in the revolver, I got hit with one bullet. The next chamber was empty because I never replaced the bullets from shooting the raccoon. You know what I'm saying? So when she clicked on the second one, that was the empty chamber. So that's how, for the people who pick apart the story, how's a revolver jam? Point is I got shot once. She pointed the gun at me again, squeezed the trigger. I saw it. My kids saw it. The people who pick apart the story, that's for you. You know what I'm saying? There's so many details to the story I don't completely go into. Like my 2 daughters was on the front porch. So when the bullet hit my arm, it went across my son's forehead and went out the front window in between my 2 daughters. So I got one daughter here, one daughter here. The bullet goes through the window in between the two. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just give the Reader's Digest version of the story just to let people know, like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I'm just grateful to be alive, man. I'm grateful to be alive. And also, too, it's just one of those things that when I met her, she was just a difficult person. But I had grace for difficult people then. And plus, we were 2 broken people. I was off. You know what I'm saying? I attracted what I was, but justice system was too lenient on women in general. Like, why did where's her information? Susan Wright. She got 20 years for stabbing somebody 193 times. Love you, man. Make sure you lock that bottom lock. Why did she get 120 years for doing it? She's out right now. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I really feel like when we dating people, we should be able to get their full profile. Like, we need to know. She could be telling dudes anything right now. Or maybe she's telling them the truth. Also, too, I'll go out on a limb and say every 3 to 5 years, we all need to take a psych eval test. Every time you renew your driver's license, you should take a psych eval test right there in the DMV or the Secretary of State. And on your driver's license, it should put either a 1 or a 5. 1, you sane, 5, you crazy. So when I'm dating you, I can just say, let me see your driver's license. Oh, you're a 5. Oh, okay. And maybe in some cases it could be, I'm a 5 too. Or, oh, you're a 5, I'm a 1, I'm all set. And I know this is for all the weirdos who pick everything apart. If it violates HIPAA laws, you can't do that. I'm just saying, if we eliminate the HIPAA laws, right? And psych eval tests every 3 years on everybody. And also, what I think should happen is you get the psych eval test, right? I feel like you should be able to get access to free therapy, free counseling, free psychological help, blah, 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 for the next 3 years to get you up to a one. Because sometimes you're dealing with people, everything has changed. It used to be back in the day. I remember in Michigan, it was a home in Northville. I forgot the name of it. Oh, what was the name of it? They shut it down in like the late 80s. But if you go back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there were like homes, crazy homes for people that you could put them in. You know what I'm saying? You put these people in these homes, and um and then they just like close down a lot of these homes across the country and just put these people in society who start mixing with other people and just having babies and kids and getting married. You didn't know what time it was, man. This woman, Susan Wright, topless dancer at 17, what was her mental health history like? You know what I'm saying? She stabbed a dude 193 times with two different knives. That's crazy. So Susan Wright, born in Houston, Texas, the crime occurred Wright family house. According to evidence presented by the prosecution on January 13th, 2003, Susan Wright, 26, tied her husband Jeff Wright, 34, to the bed and stabbed him 193 times with two different knives. She buried his body in their Houston backyard. She attempted to cover up the crime scene by painting the bedroom. The next day, Miss Susan Wright filed a false domestic abuse report in order to get a restraining order against her husband. The next day, after she buried him, um, she said, assistant direct district attorney Kelly Siegler depicted Wright as a scheming wife who seduced her husband into bed, tied him up, repeatedly stabbed him, and then buried his body in their backyard in hopes of collecting a $200,000 life insurance policy. That's somebody that's not all the way right. Wright's defense attorney, Neil Davis, claimed that his client, Susan Wright, had suffered years of physical and emotional abuse by her husband and killed him to protect herself and her two young children. Why didn't she just leave? Now, I don't know what happened here because one side is saying she wasn't physically or emotionally abused. She's saying she was. If she was, that's a sad thing. I don't condone anybody being physically or emotional. The only time I ever put my hands on a woman is I got shot. She shot me, was trying to kill me. I had to put hands on her. Other than that, I've never put my hands on a woman. So I don't condone that type of behavior. But if that was the case, unfortunately, why not just leave? You tied this man to the bed and stabbed him 193 times with two different knives. And Wright took the stand on her own. She testified that on the night of the murder, Jeff Wright was on a cocaine binge and was violent. Having allegedly beaten her, Wright again insisted that she stabbed her husband in self-defense. Well, why'd you lie about it? You do something to somebody in self-defense. That's like me. I beat up old girl. I ain't gonna lie. I had to put hands on her. She shot me. She was messing with the gun, tried to kill me. I hit her, knocked her down. You know what I'm saying? Knocked her out, and then I called the police. I didn't cover up no scene. I told them exactly what it was because that's what it was. If it is what it is, you ain't gotta hide. You ain't gotta cover up the crime scene. During closing arguments, the attorney brought up to the jury how Susan Wright had been a topless dancer and she had been believed that Wright's emotions were insincere. They convicted her of murder, but only gave her 20 years. They gave her 25, then reduced it to 20. So she got locked up in 2004. She got out in 2020. She only did 16 years, bro. I know dudes doing 10, 15, 20, 30 for some dope. This woman stabbed somebody 193 times and did 16 years. Man, this system is wild. Talking about overkill. Snap, mentally unstable. Mentally unstable. Sam Mish going in the chat. I appreciate all the love, all the responses. Whoever you are, you probably somebody I fired just for show, just for the 1,000%. I ain't been broke up with since the 10th grade. And I remember her name, Natalie Anderson, broke up with me. And you know, it hurt my feelings. I really like Natalie, man. Hurt my feelings, dog. Hurt my feelings, man. But ever since then, any woman that you don't ever see me with no more is because I walked away. Like, oh, it's something wrong with you. I ain't been broke up with since the 10th grade. So anybody see any of my exes, you can have them. Sometimes people be hitting me like, man, I saw such and such. Man, I was with such and such. I saw such and such. You can have her, dog. Any of my exes, you can have them because I done walked away from all of them except Natalie Anderson in the 10th grade. Natalie Anderson in the 10th grade. Every last one of them, I broke up with them all. Like, oh, it's something going on. I don't deal with you. I don't deal with you. Every last one of them. So you see one of my exes, go ahead and holler at her. You can have her because I walked away. We only got a certain amount of time on this earth. You feel me? We only got a certain amount of time. And none of us know when our expiration date is. But why would you waste time being in a situation where somebody is a weirdo or on meds or just, I got so much peace right now and it feels good. But this lady, dog, Susan Wright, she was released in 2020, man. That's wild. She out here, dog. Absolutely out here. So these are some of the red flags I'll be looking at with people right now is, do you want to be like God or do you want to know God? Which one is it? Because there's people walking this earth that they worship their opinion and their thoughts so much that they really think they just like God instead of working to be like God. You know what I'm saying? And that's where Adam and Eve messed up. Adam and Eve messed up because they working hard. They worked like God told them, don't eat from this fruit. And then the serpent came and said, well, you know, if you eat from this fruit, you'll be just like God. That's why he don't want you to eat it. But why we don't work hard to know God more than we try to work hard to be like God? People who try to be like God, that's a difficult situation. Truly difficult situation. Ebony, what up? So I want to be around people who want to know God more than they want to be like God. Yeah, this the Hood Bible Study tonight, my baby. Hood Bible Study. You want to be around people who want to know God more than they want to be like God. God is the creator. And people say, you a creator too. You know what I'm saying? When you shoot seed in a woman, okay, but I can't take that seed and create a child inside that woman. What? Yeah, what's popping? Yeah. like God, inwardly directed and not. Man, I said something the last time we talked about how we should be inwardly directed and not externally driven. You know what I'm saying? Inwardly directed and not externally driven. When I'm inwardly directed, that means I'm constantly working on myself on how I can improve and be a better person. But when I'm outwardly, externally driven, I'm trying to control every single thing around me. And those are the type of people that I have difficulty being around because I'm constantly trying to look at myself. Like, where did I mess up at? Dang, I messed up there. Dang, I got to work on that. That's why I got in therapy. Like, dang, I need to fix some things. Like, I've had all these traumas and I've operated in my life based on these traumas to a certain degree. What do I need to do to fix that? Okay, I need to change this. I need to do that. I need to work on that. You know what I'm saying? But if someone is externally driven, they're not trying to work on themselves to fix themselves. That's one of the reasons I got back in school to study psychology. Because it's like I'm just enamored by human behavior, even my own. Like, well, why did I do that? Like, I remember my therapist was telling me, you had a childhood illness when you were 15, you had cancer. And you thought you were going to die because I had like a 50-50 chance to live. You thought you were going to die. And that's why, because you thought you were going to die, what you ended up doing is you started approaching this world like you weren't going to be around for a long time. And then that's how you behaved. And when he was breaking it down, I'm like, I was almost in tears. Like, man, this dog, he right. Man, some of the stuff that I did, I'm like, I never thought I'd live to be like 40 something years old. So then all of a sudden, when I was 46, even I was in therapy, like I think it was like 44, I was in therapy. And I just had this revelation, like, dang, man, I'm gonna live long. Dang, man, I am gonna live long. Now it's time to really make some changes because I'm gonna be here for a while. I never thought I'd live to live this long. Charlie got caught up with Billy and Diddy on Santa Monica Boulevard. What? Oh my God. Who is that? Said that? Charlie got caught up with Billy and Diddy on Santa Monica Boulevard. In the last month, who is this? Who said that? Evan. In the last month, Evan, you done won $800. In the last month, you won $800 on FanDuel, but you turned around and lost 2,000 in the same month. Charlie looked like a naked Ving Rhames. Billy was definitely at the Diddy parties late night for sure. Hilarious. Charlie looked like the box with Big Rain. Charlie doing podcast in front of the bushes at Diddy's mansion. Oh, dog. Dylan chilling. You suing your insurance company right now because they refuse to take care of your gender affirming surgery for you. You got $100,000 lawsuit with them. Like, man, I want to get this surgery because I want to be me, and my insurance company is not paying for it. They're not paying for it at all. I got some hood stories to share with y'all. Oh, wait, before I do that, let me tell you about this lady. So we on Susan Wright. Y'all know about her. 193 times. Stabbed 193 times. Did 16 years. She out now walking around. Do y'all agree that every 3 years we should take a psych eval test when we go to get our driver's license? Everybody. And your psych eval test number should be on your driver's license. 1 if you're sane, 5 if you're crazy. I know it violates HIPAA laws, but I'm saying, should we be able to look at? I think so. Like, oh, you a 5. And then I think if you should be offered mental health therapy, medication, and all that type of stuff to get you down to a 1. And if you refuse, they should have to move you to a specific state where all 5s who refuse mental health services have to live. They move you to North Dakota. That's where you have to live. if you refuse mental health services. You can't mix in with the regular population and then create more crazy kids. You got to stay in Utah. On the driver's license. So when I'm on a date, I can just be in the middle of the date. Hey, let me see your license. You a 5. I'm a 5 too. You a 5. Oh, okay. Are you in mental health services that they gave you at the Secretary of State or the DMV? Are you in services? Cool. Are you not in services? What are you doing in Los Angeles? You're supposed to be in North Dakota. But honestly, though, I feel like the pandemic really, if you was a 3 during the pandemic, you went up to a 5. It made people crazy. If you listen to them, I didn't listen to them. I didn't wear the mask. I didn't stay in the house. I didn't have time. You know what I'm saying? I was doing whatever I wanted to do. I was outside. So when they said, hey guys, you can go back outside, I was already outside. And then I'm noticing these people that's coming out of the house looking like the crypt keeper, being weird, like people still weird in public. And it's, I don't know. I never agreed to it, but I feel like it made everybody crazier than what they was. But so Susan Wright, we on her, right? Covered up the crime scene. She out 16 years. I mean, maybe she's redeemed. Maybe she's healed and whole. God helped her. Praise the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell you about this other lady. Do any of y'all know who Christina Revels Glick is? Christina Glick. If you don't know her, she went viral for masturbating in public, right? She was on the beach. She had her toy. She was just outside, broad daylight, just working that monkey in public, right? She's working the monkey. Somebody's videotaping her, and they videotaped her, and it went viral. It went viral, and then she started getting noticed because the viral tape had her face in it. You know what I'm saying? So it goes viral, and like 8 months later, she kills herself. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad. Who said this was a Bible study? This is just me. This is me spitting game, W. Booper. W. Booper got caught on the traffic camera doing 80 miles per hour trying to change his pants. No, I'm messing with you, dog. So yeah, this lady unalived herself. And it's sad because, you know, and then her family saying she didn't do that because of what she did on camera. But now society has changed a lot, because now you think about parties back in the, see, I'm old school. I'm 46. I can remember going to like parties at the Detroit West Club on Wyoming, Cosmos and Inkster, Chicken Wing Cabarets at the DAV Hall, Legends in Detroit. Like, I remember partying hard in Detroit almost every weekend. And you know what I saw? People on the dance floor, sweating, wilding, clowning, freaking, doing whatever, just free. You ever see that person at a party back in the day and they just like celebrate, they with their group of friends and they just celebrating maybe a promotion or graduation or whatever, and they wilding, blasted, dancing, going crazy, creating memories. And the next day, friends is telling her or him, man, you was wild last night. You had a ball last night. You don't see that so much in the club no more. You know why? Because everybody has a phone and everybody's taping. And it has completely changed the way we behave, because now you wild out in public, you liable to be made a meme or go viral. So now we're so conscious when we in public about being made fun of or being videotaped that now we just reserved. The club is just everybody against the wall with a drink and just chilling. Not want to be involved in the world, and not want to be, what if somebody videotape me? What happened with the other day? I was doing something the other day and somebody flipped out a camera. I'm like, what you doing, bro? I didn't even know him. It was a stranger. TikTok, man. Like, man, you don't cut that camera off, man. I'm going to TikTok you. You know what I'm saying? And everything has completely changed. But this woman, Christina Revels Glick, masturbating in public, and went viral. And then they claim that she didn't, her family says she didn't off herself because of, let me look her up. Did she have any mental health issues? That's another thing, man. When we taping these people, we making them go viral. You don't know these people' mental state. What's her name? Christina Revels Glick. Mental health struggles. Mm. Depression. She was suffering from depression. Wow. See, man, we you can't just be, that's sad, dog. I mean, true enough, but you got to think the mental health of somebody who's beating off in public is probably not all the way there anyhow. But the viral thing, like everybody wants to be, social media has changed the game. I feel like it's a tool. A tool in the toolbox can be used as a hammer to hit somebody upside their head or build a house. But this woman, Christina Revels Glick. So social media is a tool, right? And in this particular instance, the social media for Christina Revels Glick was a hammer to hit somebody upside the head, not to build a house. But people are so, like, the new currency is attention. Somebody videotaped her, put it on their page, and went viral. And their numbers on their social media page, they got those numbers at the expense of someone's life. That's why I don't do, like, and I ain't hating on nobody, but that's why I don't do a whole lot of reaction videos or commenting on like the little 60-second, hey, watch this, me in the corner, and if somebody else doing something, like, I don't really do a lot of those videos. I prefer to just create. And I'm not hating on anybody that does, but it's like I would prefer to be real instead of just doing something for likes and subscribers and views. Like, I don't care. You could sign off now. I don't care who watches this. This has been my narrative from the beginning, because I'm not doing this for likes, subscribers, and views. I already got a bag. I already get one through. I already get residual. I'm grateful for what God has done. Like, I'm not doing this for. It's part of my gift to the world. We talk a little bit, sprinkle a little scriptures in there, tell some of my crazy stories, interact with y'all. I love to see. Evan told me what he's in school for now. You know what I'm saying? Psychology and special education. And I'm like, I'm watching y'all go after destiny. To me, that's fire. Her mental health was not intact. So what do you think? You think she should have been able to beat off in public? Listen, you see me waxing my carrot in public, man. Don't videotape me. Just leave me alone. Even intimate knowledge surrounding Christina have insisted that she did not buy. Oh, so somebody's saying she didn't die by suicide. She was murdered by somebody. Um, spiraling to crime and substance abuse. I don't know. Um, yeah, that's wild. Comedy is therapy. Comedy is 100% therapy, man. And I'm just like, you could tell. Okay, it's this dude I grew up with. It's a family that I grew up with, man. They so real. I learned so much from this family. It's the Long family. Grant Long, John Long, Julius, Lamont, all of them. I mean, Grant Long played for Miami Heat. John Long played for the Pistons. Oh, them your peoples? This family, I learned so much from the different people in this family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember the first time my dad used to host these every Thursday night. He did Bible study. And after the Bible study, you had to come to the 30-minute Bible study in order to be able to play basketball. And he would rent schools out in the neighborhood. So you come to the Bible study for 30 minutes, he let you play basketball. And I remember Jerry Long was one of the people. This had to be 80s, late 80s. And this is the first time I was ever in a photo box Caprice, because we all left from the church in the neighborhood. It was First Baptist Church in Romulus. So all of the people in the neighborhood that wanted to go play basketball, they met up at the church. My dad was there. And then they all followed my dad to the school. He did the Bible study and everybody hooped. So this particular day, I got to ride with Jerry. Rolled in the car with him. He had a photo Caprice with sounds in it. It had to be like 88, 89, 90, something like that. And I don't know what year, and he was listening to Money in the Power by Scarface. Money in the Power. And the sound, the bang was vibrating the back seat. 6x9s was slapping. He had an EQ radio. And I'm like, I want to get a Caprice with sounds in it. Jerry was always 100 in the hood, respected by everybody. He'd knock you out if he had a problem with you. Grant was a beast. Grant was a beast too. Grant was a beast. I never really met him. He was older than me, but I know everybody knew that these is Grant Long's younger brothers in the hood. He played for Miami Heat, right? Then he had another younger brother that not too many people know about, but I'm pretty sure y'all got one of these type of dudes in y'all hood. Lamont Long was one of the craziest dudes on the planet. Lamont was in and out of juvie all the time. I'll never forget at First Baptist, I'm trying to get some water out the water fountain. I was probably like 7. And I go to get some water out the water fountain, and he pushed my head into the fountain and made me stay there and had the water running all up my nose and all in my mouth. And nobody rescued me. I was just sitting there, right? Forced my head into the water. I'll never forget that. And then, Romulus used to have these monthly festivals, summer festivals. And I remember he beat somebody up at the festival and everybody heard about it. He was beating people up at the festival so much that they stopped bringing the festival to Romulus because he was wilding, right? He wilding out at the festival, so they stopped bringing the festivals, and then he got locked up. I didn't see him for a long time. I didn't see Lamont for years. Matter of fact, I seen him like 4 years ago. He had just got out. I guess he had did 20 years or something. And I don't even know if he remembered me or not. But I remember he rode up on a scooter at the gas station. I got out. He got off his scooter and looked me right in my eyes. He said, "Hey, man, give me a couple dollars so I can get some Black and Miles out of there." And when I heard him talking, I looked at him, I was immediately reminded about how he shoved my face into that water fountain at First Baptist Church when I was 7. Yeah, here you go, man. Here go a couple dollars. Go ahead and get you some Black and Miles. I didn't want to get my face smashed into the water fountain ever again. Yeah, Lamont was wild. Wild. And then so Julius was boxing for a while. All of them 6'9", 6'10". He was boxing for a while. But this family, I don't know if y'all got a person like this in y'all hood, but Lamont would crack your head. Absolutely crack your head. But I guess sometimes you just need to know when to hold them and when to fold them. I was in Southwest Detroit a while ago, and I pulled out in front of some people on accident, almost cut them off. They had to swerve. I threw my arm out like, "Hey, man, I apologize." And then I parked my car, got out, and that same car rolled up on me like 3 minutes later. And they rolled all their windows down. It was 4 of them. Rolled all their windows down. Young dudes, blowed out of their mind. You could see it in their eyes. Peels, smoke, whatever. They all blasted. And the driver, and I can't see nobody's hands. And the driver was like, "Hey, man, you cut me off back there, dog." We good? And everybody, I'm like, man, what do I reach? What do I do? Do I reach? You know what I'm saying? Man, I just folded right there on the spot. I was like, and I turned in a real estate voice. Hey guys, I apologize. Cut you off back there, man. It totally my fault, guys. All right. All right. Got to bust down. What I'm gonna do? Fight and shoot y'all out here in this parking lot, get into a gun battle over pulling out in traffic? I got kids, man. One thing about gunplay, once it starts, everybody's life changes, man. Everybody, good or bad. It's court, man. Court is not for productive people, man. Not for productive people. I'm just like, yeah, go ahead, man. Now, if they would have got out on a square up or anything like that, like, well, what's popping? But situation like that, I'm like, man, it's not time for me to be no hero, dog. Charlie cheated on his exes with buff Swedish fitness trainers. Oh, dog. Have y'all seen Oppenheimer? Oppenheimer is lit. It's a good movie. You know, one of the things I learned about the movie is Alfred Nobel. Good movie, right? W. Booby. Did you see that in the movie where Alfred Nobel, who created the Nobel Peace Prize, also created dynamite? I think that's crazy that the dude, we got a prize given to people for their exemplary efforts in displaying peace in this world. The same guy who created that prize created dynamite, which is used in war. It's wow. Really good movie. Really good movie. I love learning stuff from movies. Another movie that I watched. What did I watch recently? Yeah, The Duality is crazy. Then that's what Oppenheimer was trying to fight for, and they just silenced him, bullied him. I watched it on VHS. I'm crying. Mad scientist, but you look like he won't respect you unless you beat him in arm wrestling. That's funny as hell. That's too funny. Who is that? That's pull up from 30. You a hooper pull up from 30? You probably one of them dudes that everybody in your crew asks you how to handle a DUI. Man, what should I do, man? I don't know what to do. Mad scientist, 100%. Let's look up some more. Let's look up some more killers, man. See what they on. Let's get y'all opinion on these. So we talked about Susan Wright. Susan Wright unalived her husband by using 2 different knives, stabbed him 193 times, and only got 16 years. So who else is on the radar? You got to be careful who you pick, man. We have not been taught how to pick, ladies and gentlemen. We have not been taught how to pick. For real. We have not been taught how to ask the appropriate questions. What is your relationship like with your father? Here's where I am now when I ask questions to a woman. How's your relationship with your father? Oh, I never met him and I hate him. All right, we done. How's your relationship with your father? How's your relationship with God? I don't believe in God. I don't go to church. I believe in crystals. All right, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Tell me about your life. Have you had any? Tell me about your successes and your failures. Can you be transparent? If a woman cannot display transparency, I'm all set. Transparency and honesty is 2 different things. Honesty, I got to ask you. Transparency, you just tell me. You know what I'm saying? And what kind of self-work? Look, I'm a huge balance of successes and failures. I've jacked up 1,000,000 times, and I'm probably going to jack up more, but I'm learning every time, right? That's why I'm in therapy. I'm trying to learn. But what I'm learning is what I know now is what I want and what I don't want. But can you be transparent? Yep, I did that. I missed it. I apologize. Working on it. How you working on it? What are you doing for growth? You feel me? Like, what are you doing for growth so you don't keep doing it? So here's some of the things that I'm doing, because I've had some habits. I've never done drugs ever in my life. I've never done any drugs. That's another thing too, man. Like, I'm talking to a female. I'm even probably attach this to friendships, because like, if you can't function unless you high all the time, weed, edibles, or more, or you can't function unless you drunk all the time, like, I don't know how close I can be with you, because I had addiction to alcohol. I had an addiction to pornography. That's why I got a flip phone. So that's what I'm doing for my personal growth. Yes, I've messed up in the past. I'm not perfect, but the things that I'm doing so that I can grow. If you had a habit for 30, 40 years, you're not going to change overnight. But it's just the little things. I don't have a flip phone because I don't want to get addicted to porn. I mean, I have a flip phone because I don't want to get back addicted to porn. So, and plus, smartphones for me, since I have an addictive personality, I was always on it. Wasn't talking to my kids, so I just cut it off. Another thing that I do is I get up in the morning and I get in the ice tub. Like, I've never been on any mental health medication, never been diagnosed with anything, but I know that I'm working on myself to be a better man. Ice tub in the mornings. I go to the gym. I take vitamins, fish oils. Uh, I write in my journal. Like, these are the things that I have to do to stay cool so that I don't get into habits of doing stupidity again. I have to stay active. Even down to this, like, some of this is just therapy for me. Because I meet so many people like, man, we watch your podcast. Appreciate that, man. The vitamin suggestion, the proverbs. And I'm like, man, I, I just want to do what I'm put on this earth to do. That's it. I'm not doing it for likes, subscribers, and views and comments. And that's why I stopped for a year. Like, man, let me just work on me right now. Let me get my home base a place of peace before I create again. I will never create from a place of chaos no more. So if you don't see me, there's probably a lot going on that I need to just handle before I get back to doing this. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to even do this from a place of hypocrisy. Like, I ain't doing it. Like, I've actually done the things I'm talking about. Built my dad's business to be $1.5 million a year business. You know what I'm saying? I've done, I've accomplished a lot in the entertainment industry. I have several guest star roles on TV shows. I've done commercials, but honestly, I'm not who I am, and what I do is two totally different things, but it just shows you my work ethic and dedication. And I don't want to just talk about all the things that I've done. I want to be able to give some of that game to you. If you want to be an actor, comedian, bit, whatever. But also, too, not just my successes, my failures too. I've missed it. And I look at those like, man, all right, what did I learn from that? What do I need to do so I don't do that again? Okay, so that I don't get addicted to pornography again, I get a flip phone. Okay, so that I make sure that I can just be cool and not be on porn all the time or on BS. I need to get in an ice tub every day to make sure I don't drink all the time. Ice tub in the morning is something about, that's the hardest thing I do in my day. And it's something about when I do that, what it does to my system. It's just like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, wild out. It's just something about when I do that in the morning. You know, I ain't gonna sit here in front like I get every morning, but I get more than I miss, and it's freezing cold uh with ice in that boy. But you know, um I got the next tip. It is a recipe for success. That's because success is in the growth, and growth comes from failures. Yes, man. So I'm asking them, what do you do for growth? What have you learned? Like, and because transparency is contagious. And I'll tell you right off the top, if I'm interested or I'm talking to somebody, like, look, man, I had cancer when I was 15. And that childhood trauma, I had years and years of wild behavior after that childhood trauma. And then I got shot when I was 23. And it was like all of that compound trauma, it changes. Trauma changes your DNA, it changes you. So with knowing that, I had a bunch of crazy behaviors and probably still got some that I need to work on, but it's like I'm mitigating them as much as possible by implementing these things in my life for growth, spending time with God, reading, praying. I ain't doing it to be like to preach at everybody like I'm doing it. I'm doing this so I can stay sane, because I've never been on meds. I don't take none, but it's like cold shower. That's my morning. Cold shower, journal, workout, prayer, meditate. I listen to something that makes me laugh audibly before I leave my house every day. So I walk around with that. It's something about that joy and that laughter spirit. I watch something, it's either Corey Holcomb stand up, something that just make me bust out laughing before I leave the house every day. And that ice bath is lit. And it'll make you a monster. If you do the hardest thing you can do in the morning before you leave, everything else is, I mean, you go to work and you got to deal with crazy coworkers, or you hate your job, or you already did the hardest thing you could do first thing in the morning. And if you don't have an ice tub, freeze a cold shower. Try that. If you're dealing with depression, if you're depressed, I don't believe in depression, but if you're depressed, you sad, you got some mental health concerns, or you just, you hate life, or whatever the case may be, or you want to get motivated, try intermittent fasting and cold showers. Take a cold shower in the morning, intermittent fast. There's several you could do. Fast every other day. Don't eat all day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or pick one day a week you just don't eat at all. And look up the benefits of fasting, because denying yourself food and also taking cold showers, you basically telling your mind and your body, like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? You're not running nothing here. Because sometimes your mind can play tricks on you. They hate you. They hate you. They hate you. Then you ask, like, I don't hate you. You should quit your job. You should quit your job. You should quit your job. They don't like you over there. Then you talk to the people. They're just like, nah, we just thought you didn't like us. It's like your mind will play tricks on you, and your body wants to stay in bed and eat bull crap. Tell your mind and your body to shut up. Cold shower, shut up. I'll tell you what to do. Nope, you don't get to eat today. Or pick times. Like when I intermittent fast, like right now I'm doing like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? But then beforehand I would eat between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. And then I wouldn't eat again until 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Those time windows. It's the only time windows I would eat. And it's paleo. Paleo diet is like if Adam and Eve came down here to earth right now and they looked at your plate, would they be able to recognize it? If not, you don't need to be eating it. That's processed foods, Doritos, ice cream, Skittles, candy, all of that. If you're really trying to work on growth and your mind, eliminate some of them processed foods, man. Breads. Fun fact, Skittles has artificial raspberry in it. You know where artificial raspberry comes from? A beaver's butthole. Look it up. Artificial raspberry and artificial vanilla come from a beaver's anus. I'd like to know who was on the discovery team for that. It's probably Evan. So on the discovery team, he found out that artificial raspberry comes from a beaver's butthole. My top 5 comedians today. Corey Holcomb. Who else? Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, Bill Burr. Who else? Bill Burr. Probably Anthony Jeselnik. Dude is crazy. His one-liners is insane. It's probably my top 5. It's probably my top 5. Yeah, Anthony Jeselnik is a monster. I like the one-liners. And if we go old school, like Stephen Wright, Mitch, what was his name? He passed away from a heroin overdose. Mitch something. Man. Mitch Hedberg, yes. Man, that dude, one-liners, stupid. Stupid one-liners, man. You think you take Anthony over Tony Hinchcliffe? I like Tony Hinchcliffe's roasting. I've never heard his stand-up. Top podcast for me would definitely be 5150, Joe Rogan. I'm not quite sure. I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I actually don't like podcasts. I don't even want to do one myself. I'm doing it because it's therapy, but everybody got a podcast now, man. Sometimes I can't. That's why I don't like doing them. I don't like doing them at all because then I just don't get it. The internet to me is just such a weird place. That's why for so long I did not even have any kind of internet presence. When I was doing Craig Facts, I had no internet presence at all. I was just doing it because I loved to be in the room. It was good brothers. We was having a good time. It was community during the pandemic. But honestly, I had zero social media. I wasn't doing that for clout or to be seen or none of that. So the internet to me is not a real place because it's weirdos. Like people can just get on, type and say nothing. And sometimes I don't know how to handle that, man. I'm the kind of person like, I don't do internet beef. I don't do text message beef. I don't do over the phone. I'm just like, if you feel that strongly about however you feel, pull up somewhere. Let's talk face to face. But if the face to face conversation is not working, let's square up. And we can fight until we get tired. And whoever wins, you might whoop me. If you whoop me, cool. But at least that's how I feel a man gets aggression out. That's all I saw growing up with my dad and my uncles. And I grew up around real men. But to like settle it, I can't stand the internet. My daughter runs all my social medias, everything. This is the only one I can control because it really ain't no back and forth interaction. But everything else, my daughter runs it. I hate it. Yeah, I'm from Romulus, where the airport is. He killed his giraffe. Danza Project is cool. That's a dope one. Pull-ups with giraffe next. I'm crying. Yeah, I don't really like the internet, but I know it's a necessary evil sometimes. And I'm kind of glad that I got the internet now because when Hollywood wouldn't let me audition because I wouldn't take the jab, I had this to create. Because I just love to create art. I dropped a sketch today or the blind rapper. That's the type of stuff I love to create. And it's just and I heard Dave Chappelle say this, is where art and commerce meet is where the issue is. Like, I love to create. But then when you start making money off creating, a whole new world opens up. And I've never chased this at all. Never chased this. Somebody walked up on me in a parking lot in a church 20 years ago and said, "Hey, God told me to tell you to help. God told me to help you get an agent." And I thought the dude was gay. I was like, man, I didn't know if he was trying to get to second base or what. I was like, bro, I don't need no, I'm not trying to get, I don't want to do that. He was like, no, the Holy Spirit told me to help you get an agent because you're supposed to do TV commercials, movies, and TV shows. And I was like, I was trying to run from dog. Like, man, this dude gay. So, but he wasn't. Come to find out, he knew somebody that was in the industry already. One of his, I don't even want to say the dude's name, one of his roommates was a very famous actor. And he did everything he said. He helped me get an agent. I didn't know what to do. I got an agent. He walked me through everything I needed to do to book commercials. I booked my first commercial. I got a 5-hour energy commercial and it just took off. But I never chased it. I never thought I would be doing, like, even now, when somebody send me a message and say, I saw you on such and such commercial, such and such TV show, I just be thanking God. Like, God, I don't even know how it happened. Some dude walked up on me in a parking lot. I never chased it. And even when I try to quit and run away, it chases me down. You know what I'm saying? In Hollywood, yeah, man, I never took none of them roles. Man, you'd be surprised some of the roles I said no to. Charlie, can you? No, I'm not interested in that. No, I'm not available for that. No, I'm not doing that. Get somebody else. I'm not doing those roles. So I just think that, so back to what I was saying about how you pick, there's just certain questions that I ask, and there's certain questions that I don't mind being asked. Like, I remember a woman asked me, how's my relationship with my mom? Because that's an indication of how you treat women. I was like, okay, now we cooking. What's your routine like? It's two things that a person can have that lets me know that this probably could be a solid situation. You got your own relationship with God, and you got your own routine. You got a bulletproof routine that ain't got nothing to do with me, and you've been doing it for years. There's nothing sexier than a woman who goes to the gym on her own. You know what I'm saying? She ain't trying to get surgeries every 2 weeks. She go to the gym. She got a routine of going to the gym. She got a routine of growth, meditation, prayer. She got a routine of her own routine, and she don't stop no matter what. And that's what I mean by you don't want to get with somebody who interrupts your routine. Like, that's just a small part of the day. Now, the beginning part or the middle or whatever part you choose, that's the part that I think we got to be individuals in a relationship. But when two people get together and they completely lose their routine, lose their relationship, and they get engulfed with each other, that's where it's chaotic. How am I gonna miss you if I'm always around you? Is that the one who shot you? Man, I was crazy. At the time that I met her, I didn't have a routine and I didn't have a relationship. To be honest, we was two broken people who attracted each other to try to be whole. So really, I didn't really start getting a revelation on relationship with God and a routine to probably in like my 30s, late 30s, where I'm like, because like I said, we haven't been taught how to pick or who to avoid. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just a certain set of questions. And also, too, people by revelation, recommendation, and observation. So you got a revelation, you got to pray and talk to God about this person. Observation, watch them. You really don't know who somebody is to like the sixth or seventh date. And recommendation, ask some people around them what their character is. I remember I do this in friendships too. I was friends with somebody and we worked on some stuff together years and years and years ago. And we worked on some projects. And I remember I was praying like, God, do you want me to be friends with this person? Do you want me to be cool with them? Like, because I didn't really know a lot of people around this person. I didn't really know. And I had a dream that this person was riding in a car with a Netflix executive. And I was in the back seat listening to him talk. And this person that I knew was talking to the Netflix executive like, don't mess with Charlie. Leave him alone. You need to work with me. But Charlie's this. He was just lying on me in this dream. And I woke up like, praise God, that's the revelation. I may be able to be friends with this person, but I don't think I can do business with this person. You know what I'm saying? We got to take our time. And also, too, we jump into these relationships and we develop soul ties too soon. And we already developed a soul tie because the box is so good. We develop a soul tie and then we be like, dang, man. Now I realize this person got all this stuff going on, but now I'm hooked. Charlie talking about RuPaul. I ain't never did nothing gay in my life. I've been straight. I feel like Meek Mill working too hard to show people that he ain't gay. I ain't never did nothing weird. No weirdo activity. He be working hard. Like, no, I ain't gay. I ain't gay. Booba been eating Impossible burgers for years, and he trying to figure out why he growing titties. Meek is cheeks now. Man, this Diddy thing is so wild. What y'all think about that, man? There's so many people out here going in on Diddy. It's wild, man. Cheek Mills is hilarious, dog. I'm crying. Cheek Mills. Man, I don't know why people are surprised about stuff that go on in the industry, man. The stuff that I've seen, dog. Meek's cheeks. The stuff that I've seen and people, because like I told you, somebody walked up to me in a parking lot and said they want to help me get agent, and I was scared. I thought he was a pirate. So I've never chased the industry like that. But some of these people that are famous, that are in the industry, they wanted to be famous their whole life. And they was willing to do anything to get it. And the pandemic showed it. You willing to put a jab in your arm that you don't know nothing about just to audition, just to be famous? You willing to put on a dress? Are you willing to get bent over in a shower scene just to be noticed? Too many years. Dash Lidmere, what's popping? Charlie looks like a robbery coach. You got a big tub of Vagisil triple odor protection on your sink right now. Too many years of allegations, not enough grassroots outreach until recently for Diddy. People call Cat crazy, but they say he give back everywhere he go. I'm just saying. That's true. That's true. I think like Cat got the streets 1,000%. 1,000%. But this one thing I will say. Now, Cat Williams' interview, in my opinion, was groundbreaking. And I feel like he said it. The truth, it just exposed. The truth has just been coming out in 2024. And I don't think Cat Williams' interview made the truth come out. I just think he was one of the first to do it. But the only thing that I think Cat should have done is all these people that he's talking about, he's known for 20, 30 years. I just would have liked to see, hey, this is the good that they did, but this is what they did that I didn't appreciate. Because it couldn't have been all bad for 20, 30 years. And it couldn't have been for 20, 30 years. You've been the only saint in all of these people, and they were all bad. Now, that's why I believe in transparency and just being 100. Like, these was my friends, you know what I'm saying? Ricky Smiley, these are the things he did that I didn't like, but these are the things that he did that I appreciate him for. You know what I'm saying? And I think in most of our relationships that we've had for 20 or 30 years, we could say that about all of them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got some bad and some good, but at the moment that the bad outweighs the good, you got to separate yourself from the situation. But when you go to talk about these stories, why make yourself the saint? You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, they did these things. Okay. Steve Harvey was blah, 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 but this is what he get. I just don't think everybody that Cat Williams interacted with was all bad, personally. And I don't think he was the only saint and all good in every situation. But I love his stand-up. I love how transparent he was on the show. But I just think that he should have just like be 100. And I'm always looking for that. Like people that you've known for years, I'll be listening to people talk. And if you can bash somebody that you've known for 20 years and I've only known you for a year, what make me think I'm gonna do anything different? I always listen to people who complain and talk trash about everybody that they're around. I'll be just like, ugh, dog, you do the same thing for me. Safety Entertainment was never funny. I think that the joke stealing is real. Now, I will say that the joke stealing is real, which is why I never forget I was in Starters. Tony Roney got a club in Starters on Plymouth in Detroit, and he's had it for years. And I was in this club in like 2008, and I heard no. I didn't start doing comedy till 2010. So this had to be like 2011 or something like that, 2010, 2011. And I remember I was in this club and I heard a comedian telling jokes that another comedian was using on stage. And I was beside myself. Like, why ain't nobody rushing the stage to tackle? This dog is stealing jokes. And then I heard somebody else taking somebody else's joke. And I'm like, who's stealing? And I said, you know what I'm going to do in stand up? I'm going to write jokes that nobody can steal. You had to have had cancer and have been shot or be a little crazy like me in order to understand these jokes. In order to do these jokes. You know what I'm saying? Because when I saw the thievery, I was like, I got to set myself apart. So my jokes revolve around me getting shot by my ex-wife, you know what I'm saying? Having 3, 4 baby mamas, having cancer, like all of that stuff. Like you got to relate. My comedy is personal. Steve definitely funny. Said it's situationally funny. I've heard Steve Harvey tell some funny joke. He told a joke about this. I guess he had this thing called the strawberry love letter, and somebody wrote in saying that their husband was 500-600 pounds and he couldn't wipe himself no more. What should I do? And then Steve Harvey reenacted what the fat dude should do, the overweight guy should do to wipe himself. And that was a super funny bit. Super funny. So to just say that, and humor is subjective. What some people really think Kevin Hart's super funny. Some people think he's not. I don't know how y'all feel. Some people think Steve Harvey's really funny. Some people think he's not. Humor is subjective. To just say somebody's not funny when there's other people who think that he is or she is, it's very subjective. But you know, yeah, dog was fat. Said can be funny. Costume Cat Williams can be funny sometimes, and some of his jokes wasn't funny, but it's like that's what every comedian. You know, I hit the stage, everything I say ain't funny. Sometimes I just say stuff that's funny to me. I used to, when I first started out in comedy, I used to love like losing the room to see if I could get it back by just offending people, roasting people, picking out a group of people in the audience to blaze. I remember I got banned from Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. I was I was telling all these jokes, and it's not. It's kind of funny now, but not as funny as it was then. But I told this joke. I was telling jokes about Asians, blacks, whites. Again, I was like 2 years into comedy. So then it was a table full of people from like Iraq, little Middle Eastern people, and I was like, anybody in the house from? And I saw them. I was like, I want to lose the room. Is there anybody in the house from Dearborn? Yeah, we from Dearborn. I said, do y'all know that Dearborn is a city outside of Detroit? I said, did you guys know that Dearborn is 48% Arab American? Yeah. You guys also know that Dearborn has the highest proportion of Arab Americans in the nation. Do you guys know what that means? That means that every department store within a 10-mile radius of Dearborn is completely out of towels. And man, they was ready to dog. Somebody charged the stage. They was flipping the tables over. They was ready to scrap. And I'm like, dang, y'all was laughing at the Asian jokes, the black jokes, the white jokes. Now I can't even crack a joke about Middle Eastern people, bro. So then I told more jokes. I got the room back. And so then when I went, I forgot the name of the guy who was running the room, but he was like, yeah, you're not Dave Chappelle. Okay, you can't do stuff like that and lose the room, and get him back. You can't. He kept telling me who I was. And I was like, I know I'm not them people. I'm Charlie. Who said I was trying to beat them people? And blah, blah, blah. He was just like, well, you're not invited back here. I'm like, all right. I do my own thing. Shout out to him. Sold out my own show in Detroit, man. Rented out the theater. You feel me? $50 a ticket. So shout out to that dude who wouldn't let me perform at Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase for $150 when I sold out a place for $50 a ticket. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, dog. Don't ever let nobody keep you from your dreams. So, yeah, man. Oh, Craig Facts, you was definitely top 3 in the room, sometimes 10 plus. Man, I had so much fun on the show. So much fun. I learned a lot from everybody in the room. I ain't got nothing but love and respect for everybody in the room. From Brandon, I learned uh j- that I need to have a social media presence. He kept pushing me. You need to be on social media, Charlie. You need to be on social media. You need to be on. You need to be on. You need to be on. He kept pushing me towards it, and he was right. Him and Craig both. What I learned from Dewan, it was a lot of study about mental health. He's got a degree. He counseled young kids, and he did a lot in the community, nonprofits with his degree, and social work and stuff like that. And he was one of the ones that inspired me to, like, I'm in school now to get my degree. You know what I'm saying? Dozy just helped inspire me on the business tip. Dozy's a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Me and him had conversations about cars. He would call me about where to go to take a car because, like, I got my dealer license. He got his dealer license, and he got his hand in some of everything. And he was big with his family. Like, Dozy was super, super big on family and his events and his cousins. I remember we went to a party one time. He was just, this my cousin, this my cousin, this my cousin. It's like, that's inspiring to do a lot with your family. You know what I'm saying? Who else was in the room? I'm trying to think. Like, I learned a lot from Craig too, just on like the show I just did in Detroit. That's how he did his show in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? The way he did his show in Vegas is the same way I did my show in Detroit. Like, tired of doing these comedy shows where you go like that's why I don't really when comedians tell me they doing all these shows or they doing I sold out not sold out I headlined at this club. Dog, how much did they pay you? Man, I did 2 shows, man. It got $250 a piece. They gave you $500 to do 2 shows at a packed out club. So they got drinks. Did you sell merch? You ain't have no merch. So you mean tell me they paid you $500 in this packed out club, all of them seats. It's just disgusting sometimes, man. So you could just get over all of that by just renting out your own venue, selling tickets on Eventbrite. You know what I'm saying? Getting your own drinks, your own hookup, your own merch. I had shirts and books. I sold all my books, sold half my shirts, and sold out the whole place. That's way better than getting $250 to headline a show. So don't be enamored when these comedians is telling you, like, I headlined at such and such. How much did they pay you, dog? It's such a game. That's why I stopped. I did a show at Laugh Factory in Long Beach for a little over a year. It was my own show. I got to book the comedians and all of that. But it was like, I don't know who over there now, but I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons that I stopped doing the show is it was half paying people. And I got into it with the manager one day because, well, first off, like a week, no, like 2 or 3 days before, I got people flying from out of town. What I did do is when I got the show at Laugh Factory in Long Beach, I would reach out to comedians from Detroit. Hey, dog, I got this show. Come out, you never know. And I remember T-Barb came out, rocked the show. An agent was in the crowd and booked her for a bunch of other shows based on her coming to the show. And that's what I want for my people, because there's so many funny people in Detroit, but I feel like nobody was really getting the shine or the recognition that they needed. I'm like, come do my show. So anybody you could think of, comedians from Detroit all came. CP came. T-Barb, Simply Chanel, Mike Larry, my boy KJ, all these comedians from Detroit, everybody was coming on. And T-Barb was like she got a nice bag out of it. But what started happening is like they wasn't really paying. I had people calling me like, they ain't paid me yet. They ain't paid me yet. It's been 2 months. And I'm calling them like, when you gonna pay? Well, what's going on? And I started getting into it with the manager because like I remember telling her one day, I said, how many people, I had almost a packed house. And the Laugh Factory Long Beach is the biggest Laugh Factory out of all of them, except for Chicago. But it holds 450 seats. Hollywood don't hold that many. San Diego don't hold that many. Laugh Factory Long Beach is one of the biggest. And it was almost completely full. I had grinded, get busting seats, blah, blah, blah. And I had a kind of, the door deal was all right. But basically, you know what I'm saying? I was set to make a nice grip this night. And I got to it with the manager because I was rearranging the lineup. And well, you can't do that unless you call such and such. And I just asked her, I was like, man, listen, how many people did you put out there in them seats? Right? You manage what I'm bringing in here. Well, you got to call such and such. And I called him and he was like, let Charlie do whatever he needs to do to make the show run successfully. I said, I should put this on speaker so you can hear it because I'm the one that put these butts in these seats. But I looked at it one day, packed house. I had worked my tail off all week to get all these people in these seats. And I'm like, man, they getting all of these off these drinks, all this money off drinks. They half paying my comedians. I was like, why am I not just doing my own show? Which I was grateful for the opportunity. Grateful to be in the room, grateful to have my own show, book my own comedians. I had a ball. But the corporate side of the game, it just wasn't fun no more. It wasn't fun when they was half paying my comedians. It wasn't fun when they would pull a comedian off. Like I had one of my homeboys was coming from Dallas. And a day before the show, I mean, he had already booked his flight and everything. A day before the show, they called me and said, yeah, we're taking him off and we're putting on such and such. I said, man, you can't do that, man. My man's is flying from Dallas. I thought you said this was my show. Yeah, I said, well, what I will do is I'll let whoever you putting on, I'll let him put on, but I'm keeping my guy on. We'll just change up the lineup. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna ever do. I'm thinking about it, doing my own show at a comedy club. But it's been way more fun for me to do these shows in my own venues where I can control everything. I buy the drinks. You pay $50 a ticket. I already bought the drinks before the show, the drinks and the food. It was already set out. You pay $50, you get and that's what you're gonna pay at the comedy club. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do the 2-drink minimum. You're gonna get some food. I had some good food, 2 drinks, and a ticket. And it was a show. And it was just me, no openers. My opener was supposed to come. He called me 10 minutes before showtime and said something was going on with his car. That's cool. I'll rock it. I'll rock it. My kids did everything. They was at the merch table. They was running the sign. I got a bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? From age 28 to 13. Running the show. You know what I'm saying? So 50 ball is standard. You're gonna spend a 50 ball, you go out on a date. You and your date, you're gonna spend $100. Yeah, the CP is a beast. So we did a birthday roast for Doughboy at the Laugh Factory. And man, it was me, Brent Taylor, CP. Who else was on the show roasting Doughboy? It was hilarious, dog. We had a good time. Yeah, CP's a beast. CP is an absolute beast. Yeah, but I think the own venue is the best move. Like the way where I'm at now is I do a comedy club, but they gotta pay me, bro. Cause I'm gonna bring some people. And I'm not even depending on internet people. Like I go out and holler at people face to face. You feel me? So I remember doing a show. Me and Craig did a show at the Comedy Union, which don't even exist no more, in 2019. And we was like competing and hustling against each other to see who could and we both end up selling out, but he ended up selling more tickets than me. But it was me, Craig, Mike Larry, who else was on the show? London Brown. Packed out, sold out show. He said, I ain't seen nothing from Brent in a little minute. I'm crying. Doughboy was rapping about chicken wings a few hours ago. Yeah, Doughboy funny. But yeah, man, that's kind of where we at. Mike Larry's my guy. Mike Larry been the homie for a long. Mike Larry been doing comedy for a long time. He's actually one of the comedians I call for advice because, like, I started doing comedy in 2010, and then I stopped in like 2013 and started really going hard at acting, and then I picked it back up in like 2015, and like there was a time where I wasn't really consistent at comedy, but I've always been a consistent hustler, which is why to me, if you're a comedian, you should be able to sell tickets. You should be able to put butts in seats. Get on council court. Man, listen, all them shows, I've had people try to put me on them shows, roast me, cancel culture, all that type of stuff. There's some politics involved in that, and whatever. That's all I'm gonna say. It was somebody called me trying to put me on them shows on their own without me calling them. And they said, man, I'm gonna get you on the shows. And then they start calling people, it's, blah, blah, blah. And then they would call back, well, did he say this or do that on the podcast? Or did he blah, blah, blah? So I think people feel threatened by your mans. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But I think I just this is how I feel at the end of the day. God is always in control. That's why I'm never bitter. There's so much I could say, but it don't really matter because at the end of the day, I got to do what it is God want me to do. You know what I'm saying? So I wish everybody love and respect and success and everything they put their hands to. So, man, I think that's it, man. I had a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. For Red Coco, Mike, man, them was the peoples, bro. Downtown Tony Brown. Yeah, Coco. Man, let me tell you the story before I go. Coco Coco's House of Comedy used to be on Jefferson. And I'm first starting out in comedy. And I go to Coco's and I'm feeling myself. I ain't did no kind of joke writing, no studying. I'm just thinking because I have this stage presence, because I made people laugh in high school, that I could just get on stage and do my thing. So no jokes. I remember I got on Coco's. I got on the stage. Now, at this particular place at Coco's back in the day, they would shake their keys at you if they didn't like you, right? So I get on stage. I tell my first joke. Everybody laughing. And I'm stumbling on my second joke because, of course, I ain't practiced. I ain't winging it. And it's a crowd full of people. And I'm stumbling on trying to get to my second joke. I'm taking too long. And I lock eyes with this big black chick on the front row. And I watched her reach in her purse and pull out her keys. And I'm like, no, I tried to rush to the joke. And she started shaking her keys. And then everybody started shaking their keys. And I'm trying to get to the joke. And then this one dude in the back is the one who killed me. He said, "Get your whore off the stage, Nick." Fried me. I was like, let me get my stuff and get on off the stage, man. So he fried me. But we live and we learn, man. Now, I love it, man. I love what I do. I love getting an opportunity to do what I do, man. And of course, he said, whoever it was, whatever he did, got more laughs than what I did. You ever been to D Motown Dale, homie? No. The Motown Deli? No, I ain't never been there, G. I was just at Sweetwater's the other day, though. Sweetwater Tavern. There's this new spot downtown on Griswold called the Dime Bar. I went in the Dime Bar. Dano Williams, what up, though? Dime Bar on Griswold was packed, so I went around to my trusty place, which was Sweetwater Tavern. Sweetwater Tavern is my go-to spot. Sweetwater, here's some of my go-to spots. Now, in Rancho Cucamonga, California, my favorite breakfast spot is the Broken Yoke Cafe. If you ever in Cali, I got two spots, Broken Yoke Cafe in Rancho and the Griddle in Eastvale. Two of my favorite spots in the world. Two of my favorite spots in Detroit, Sweetwater Tavern and then Mongolian Barbecue. Mongolian Barbecue is like Dearborn. Dearborn, they got one in Canton. Before you go, I hit Nikki D. Coney Island. Stomach gave me right since. Hey, you talking about the 106 Mile, dog? I ain't ate there in years, man. I had some Coney a while ago at Warren and Livernois where the races used to be, right across from that old White Castle. Man, dog, that Coney tore me apart, man. I was on the toilet for an hour. They closed the Mongolian Barbecue here. Where you at, Mo? Mongolian Barbecue slap. You go to the Busted Cheeks Cafe, W. Booper, you and Meek Mills? I can't believe you admitted that online, G. Are you in Cleveland? Hey, I was in Youngstown, Ohio, man, last month. I went out there and bought a 77 Cutlass, my mans. Whew. Man, I've been buying a lot of my cars from Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. My man's W. Booper said he went to Busted Cheeks Cafe. I appreciate you being transparent with us, dog. The Pistons suck. The Pistons suck because I'm going to tell you why they suck. Anytime you see a team suck, you got to look at the ownership of the team. The dude who owns the Pistons also owns the system, the phone systems that people call in to talk to prisoners, like that JPay phone system. And he gouging the crap out of people. It's criminal what people pay just to talk to their loved ones or to send them money. So Frank Gores or Al, whatever this nigga name is, Frank Gores. What's the dude name who owns the Pistons? Pistons owner. So if you got an owner that's crooked and trash and don't really care, then it's going to reflect the rest of the team. This guy, what is his name? The Pistons owner. His name is Tom Gores. He's an American billionaire businessman. This dude makes most of his money from this JPay. He's just a trash dude, man. So when you got people like that owning the team, it's just another thing in their portfolio. Just another notch in the portfolio. We really don't care. So if you want to change the team, you got to change the ownership and the people who running the team. Like this coach, I don't know what's up with this coach. The team is trash. I haven't watched the Pistons since Blake Griffin was on the team. Part of the problem is this here it is right here. Tom Gores juggles a $1 billion prison phone business debt. Drags NBA into his prison. This dude, let me read this article. Tom Gores, his company, Platinum Equity, grapples with $1 billion prison phone business debt. For months, Tom Gores' Platinum Equity has been in and off talks to address more than $1 billion of debt that it struggles with prison phone company must pay by next year. This dude is making millions off people. He's part of the systematic prison system, man. He profits off mass incarceration. His company owns JPay. Tom Gores, Platinum Equity. He purchased the basketball team with the stated intent of improving the struggling city. He's an activist today working in Detroit's Black community. But meanwhile, he is benefiting off of mass incarceration. Private prisons charge inmates $5 a minute for phone calls while they work for $1 a day. This is what your man who owns the Pistons, this is what he's a part of. So, yeah, that's why the Pistons is trash, because this dude is trash. JPay straight extortion, man. JPay, wow. I got a son that's locked up, man. He was out here thugging, doing his thing. The son that was in my arms is locked up. He was doing his thing. He's got his own journey. He's gonna be 100 when he get out, and whatever, man. I love him. I'm praying for him. And I talk to him on a regular basis. But yeah, it costs me money to talk to him. It costs me money just to send him money. It costs me money just to communicate with him through JPay. It's wild. And when I talk to him, I'm like, son, are you being offered any type of mental health? Like, are they giving you therapy? No. So that's why I don't think it should be called corrections. It should be called collections. Because my boy been in there for years and he hasn't seen a therapist or a counselor not one time, dog. You don't think there's an ethical way to become a billionaire? Why so, Mo? That's an interesting. Cost money to use them janky ass tablets. So you got to pay restitution once you free. I like what Dave Chappelle said. He said once you make a certain amount of million, like once you make 3 to 5 million, once you make 3 to 5 million, like what else do you need? So I don't know. I kind of, at the end of the day, I think we should all be pushing towards leaving an inheritance to our children's children. You know what I'm saying? But once you make anything more than let's call it 20 million. You make anything more than 20 million. What do you need that for? What do you need that money for? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna get off of here, man. Had a good time. It's good chopping with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all because I love myself.